You may have a new goal to achieve, and we have a story to help inspire. I spoke to a man from Anderson who smoked cigarettes for 30 years and tried to quit 50 times. He explains how he finally took his last puff.
I would get sweat sometimes, shakes real bad where I couldn't even write. My hands would shake so bad if I needed a cigarette so bad.
Sheldon Wartinger is talking about the withdrawal symptoms when he stopped smoking.
I didn't know what to do with my hands. I'm used to holding a cigarette, so I was uncomfortable and didn't know what to do. It's like I had to go through these motions to get some kind of relief.
He's been going through the motion of pulling a cigarette up to his mouth for the last 30 years.
I was about 17. I think when I first started out, maybe a few cigarettes a day.
That soon turned into 2 packs a day. He blames stress at work.
As soon as I'd go grab one, that anger feeling and that sensation, everything went away. It was like releasing a big breath of fresh air or a breath of air.
And he knew it wasn't good for him. His wife didn't smoke and told him every day.
We could have had a lot of a new car or a new SUV with the money that I spend on smoking.
He's been wanting to make a change for a long time.
50 times probably throughout my life I've tried to quit.
But what finally caused him to quit wasn't the cost.
Sheldon?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how are you doing?
It was a diagnosis.
Thinking everything is healing up okay?
Yeah.
In September, he found out he had lung cancer. He was afraid he might die from lung cancer because that's what happened to his father.
I went through all of this with my father, and I think that it was that made me think that, you know, this might be my last chance. I may not have another chance.
Luckily for him, the cancer was caught early with a less invasive biopsy procedure called a robotic bronchoscopy.
And then he underwent kind of a novel procedure here. We can do all of the biopsies from inside the lung using a robot that puts a bronchoscope into the lung that we control and gets the biopsy.
Then he underwent a robotic surgery to remove the tumor.
Approach lung cancer surgery would have been doing a very large incision in between your ribs, which can be very painful and very debilitating too in terms of recovery, because we have to cut through a lot of muscles in your chest wall, which leaves you somewhat debilitated until they can heal. So using the robot, we're able to make very small incisions and have extremely high magnification 3D vision.
It was a successful procedure, but his doctor told him he may not be so lucky the next time around if he keeps smoking. So upon the diagnosis, Sheldon slowly started to reduce the amount he consumed.
I got candy in my mouth now.
What does the candy help with?
The candy helps me with that sensation or having a cigarette in my mouth.
The beginning of November, he smoked his last cigarette.
You never know what you're going to go through until you have to go through it. And I was, it's one of the biggest struggles that I've ever had to face in my life, I think.
Now, Sheldon says he also wants to thank his friends and coworkers. He told them he was quitting, and they held him accountable and helped him stay on track. His lung cancer was detected early thanks to a special doctor visit. Coming up at 6, I will explain what smokers should do every year so they could, too, catch it before it's too late.